Hey, you're listening to The Real Truth About You. This is a show where we try to help you become the best that you can be by discovering the real you. And you can discover more shows and information on our website at therealtruthaboutyou.com. Hey, my name is Will St. Clair, and I'm your host for today. And I just want to share a story with you. And it was about when I used to live in Toronto, Canada. Big city. And anyway, they had a huge airport, and it was an international airport. And I remember I had a job at the time, and they used to fly me across Canada. And I used to visit all these different, they used to make glass beer bottles is what they used to make. And they had big plants across Canada. And they used to fly me across Canada to visit these plants and do these audits of certain departments. Anyway, I kind of sucked at the job, but whatever. The thing is, they used to fly me out of Toronto Airport, and this is a huge airport, and it's like you get in a plane and you wait and you taxi, and anybody that lives in a major city knows what I'm talking about, that you would wait forever to get just to the apron or the start of the runway. And when you finally get there, you probably read about 3 books, and you're on the runway and the engines rev up and they're getting ready to go, and it's just like the airplane's just so geared up to go, and bang, they let go of the brakes and they take off, and it takes forever to get rolled down that runway and get up to that speed that the airplane can, where gravity is lessened, and I guess compared to whatever the bionics of the flying a plane. But anyway, the plane starts to take off the ground, and it takes a while to get to that point where the plane actually takes off. And when you're coming back to Toronto, it's a similar thing. It's you touch down, and it seems to take forever while you're rolling along the runway, just slowing down, till you get to a point where you can taxi off, and then it takes you almost another 10 minutes, it seems like, before you get to the terminal. Well, one day, I was flying to Moncton, New Brunswick in Canada, and Moncton is a small, I don't know if it's not a village, of course, it's a small town on the east coast of Canada. And I remember flying there. I was 21 years old. And I remember touching down, where you were coming down, and I'm expecting this long runway, and it was like as soon as the wheels touched the ground, and you can feel that little bump underneath your bum, and as soon as those wheels touched the ground, it was like I was over the wing and I could see the engines. It was like they were falling off. Something fell off of them, and I just found out it's some kind of cowling, and what they do is, this part falls down in front of the engine, and then they reverse the thrust of the engine. So rather than the air coming out the back and pushing the air forward, now it's pushing out of the front, and it's trying to slow the plane down. And it's like an air brake. It's like the same effect as slamming on your brakes, and that's what it was like. You come down and you touch down, you feel that bump, and all of a sudden, whoa! It's like the plane, you're just lunging forward as the plane, they put this emergency brake on, and then they almost stop within seconds at the end of the runway because it's a small runway, and then they pull off, and then you get out of the plane, and you're not going into the huge terminal. You just get off these steps, and you go to the back of the plane, and this is the jet. And then they hand you your bag basically off the plane. And it was like so different than what I was used to. And same thing with taking off. Taking off from there is like they have to gear up that plane, and they use a thing called flaps. And flaps allow the plane to take off faster on a or at least the length of the runway. You can take off in the less amount of length, right? Great technical jargon for me. But anyway, so when you're taking off, that the airplane's at full throttle, raring to go, and then all of a sudden they release the brakes, and then away you go, and within, I would guess, 30 seconds, you're almost in the air. And that's not very long for a big jet. Right, 30 seconds. And why am I telling you this story? Because one, it was really funny for me because I'm used to this huge airport, lots of facilities, and lots of people, long runways, and we're the big city of Toronto, and with millions of people there. And then we land in this small, remote location on the east coast of Canada where you have to stop really sharp. And then when you're taking off, you have to make adjustments to take off. Well, you know what? Life is just like that. Sometimes you have got so much time to get something off the ground. You can take your time and you can just move along with the flow of everything. And sometimes you get to a small location and you don't have a lot of time to get something off the ground. And you've got to put that full power on the same way as you do, because it takes a lot of energy to get an airplane off the ground. Most of the fuel in an airplane is burned off at takeoff. That's why they don't like it when they're held up at an airport and they're flying in circles, or they're coming down and all of a sudden the tower says, no, you have to go back up and circle around, come back again. They don't like doing that because it takes a lot of energy and a lot of fuel and a lot of cost for that fuel. But life is like that. Sometimes you're given a long runway and sometimes you're given a short runway in the length of time. So sometimes you can take your time, just go along, do what you're doing, and eventually you'll get off the ground. And sometimes you're faced with a situation in life, whether it's with your health or something that you have to do and you have to get it done quickly and you don't have much opportunity, and you have to get that engine up to full speed and you have to get off that ground really fast. You have to get up and get running really fast and produce results of whatever that result is. And we're dealt different things in life, and we have to adapt. We have to adapt to that. And so it is what it is, right? I have a friend that says it is what it is till it isn't. And so when you're dealt short, crappy runways, or you're told to take off and go around again and do it again, that's just life. Just keep going with it. And the thing is, keep going. And sometimes when we get a short runway, we're coming in for a landing and we have to stop quickly. There's some things in life we do have to stop. Sometimes we have to stop things very quickly. Sometimes we can slow down and take our time and, I'm going to quit doing something or whatever it is. And some things we have to stop doing quickly. And so just relate that to your life. How does that relate to your life? Life is life. It's a journey. And whatever you're dealt, you're dealt. And maybe you've had a crappy life. Maybe you've had a great life. Maybe you've had an abusive past. Maybe you've had a great past. But you're dealt with what you're dealt with. And what you do with it now as you move forward is what makes the difference. What you do with your life now is what makes the difference. We don't want to live in the past. We know that sometimes our past seems to form the decisions we make today. And that's why they always say you become a product of the environment you place yourself in, because your mind is always so immersed in the environment you're in. So if you're in a very negative environment, if you have friends who are always negative, and sometimes you try to see positive, but you're always with friends that are negative, well, you know what? The truth is, you're probably like that? You're probably going to succumb to that negativity. It's almost inevitable. You become the environment you place yourself in. So successful people have been proven it's been proven that successful people, I should say, place themselves in positive environments. They place the positive things in their mind. If you've got friends that are really negative, they're always bringing you back down. Well, maybe they're not your best friends. Maybe they're not looking out for your best intentions. I'm not saying get rid of your friends. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that you do need to adapt to the life you're in. And if you've got a short runway, if life is dealt you crappy stuff, you're in a negative situation, or you're in something that's like keeping you held down. You need to try to move forward by filling yourself with good things. You need people who are going to tell you how beautiful you are, how awesome you are. You need to read articles or books that tell you that you can do it. Other people have, and you can too. You need to watch TV shows that are not telling you all the negative things about life and dragging you back down to where you feel you're at. You need to watch shows that uplift you, that tell you you can move forward, and you will become that environment you place yourself in. So regardless of what you've been dealt, it's what you do now. It's what you do now. And one thing I heard, it was about entrepreneurs, but it applies to life too. Successful entrepreneurs gain their wings on the way down. So when they're falling, that's when they start to, their wings gain strength because they keep going. They keep wanting to get up. When they feel like they're kicked or knocked down, they get up. And people who are successful in life, especially like you look at athletes, same thing. They're always trying to push their personal best. When you fall, you get back up. Doesn't matter how often you fall. Doesn't matter how old you are. Sometimes you might be in your 60s, 70s, 80s, or your 20s. It does not matter how old you are. It does not matter where you are in life, what state you're in life. Today is a new day. Every day is a new day. You may fail today, but get up tomorrow and start a new day. It doesn't matter. Every time you fail, you get stronger. Every time you fail, you get stronger. You don't get weaker. Just keep getting up. Keep getting up and keep getting up. And in case you haven't understood what I said, keep getting up. You've been dealt with your life. Now what you do with it is up to you. And a God perspective, because I got to be honest to myself, I'm into God in my life. And somebody once said to me, oh, I can't remember what it was now. Isn't that hilarious? Well, maybe I wasn't meant to say it. Okay, maybe I'm not meant to say it. All right, so anyway, no big deal. But what I'm saying to you is you can do it. Place yourself in a positive environment that's going to build you up and edify you. Go out and rock your world because you are an awesome person. You are a beautiful, awesome, strong person who can get back up regardless. So on you go with your life. You've been listening to Will Sinclair and the Real Truth About You podcast show. You can get more information and more shows at therealtruthaboutyou.com. Remember, if you find us on iTunes or anything like that, subscribe to us. It really helps us to move forward and become more popular. Share this podcast with as many people as you can. We would just love it. It's our way of moving forward. So thank you. Have an awesome rest of your day, and you rock.